Hello, my fellow Americans and fellow citizens of the world. We gathered here to discuss a subject of utmost importance in these troubled times. There's only one way of making America great again, and that's by making it metal again. Therefore, we must make a tier list about the most important extreme metal band of them all, which is Burzum.
Mayhem, Donnie. Cut the crap and let's start with the mysterious Dom Sathanas.
I can't believe you became so delusional, Joe. Do you think I can talk more than a word about the band of that commie pussy?
Watch your mouth, Orange Man. He's still a million times better than that Nazi clown of yours.
Let's not get political, guys. Chill out, Joe.
No one will get political, Barry. We'll just talk about the most important black metal act in history, which is Varg's band, Burzum.
Oh shit. Here we go again. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined again, thanks to you, Donnie.
Varg Vikernes may be one controversial man, but he made some great black metal.
Like what, Barry? All he did was playing the same generic riffs over and over with sloppy double bass and zero blast beats. The man is an insult to black metal.
You're an insult of a president, Joe. You just said the stupidest thing ever, even worse than the white kids, poor kids comparison.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. I was just sick and tired.
We know, Joe. We all know.
I'm getting sick and tired of your bullshit, Joe. Let's start with Burzum's self-titled debut album. And I'm going to say one thing. This is, wow. It's enough to be put in S tier, in my opinion. Just like the other Burzum albums.
One of the best debuts in black metal history, not gonna lie. My Journey to the Stars and Ia have some juicy atmosphere. The Crying Orc is a great instrumental, and War has a catchy main riff, so great songs overall.
But the most important part of it is the production. Pitton did a great job. The album has that rawness to it and sounds like it was all recorded with a Nokia 5110 in a bathroom.
Actually, the most significant thing about this album is that it was released through Deathlike Silence Production, Euronymous' label.
Some of the songs were later re-recorded in 2010, Joe.
But they sounded better the first time. Anyway, as much as I hate Varg as a person, he was pretty innovative with his work. He did some good atmospheric shit. Black Spell of Destruction is pretty dope.
The real name of the song is Spell of Destruction, Joe. But nonetheless, I'm surprised you still got a bit of common sense.
Let's put this in S tier then. I think we should continue with Date Som Engang Var. It was released through Burzum's own label, Simophane Productions.
Which was a big mistake. Burzum didn't sound the same.
Shut the fuck up, Joe. It sounded okay.
It sounded great, guys. No one can deny that Varg made the grimest black metal riffs. Lost Wisdom and Key to the Gate. I put that shit on speakers all the time. And don't get me started on Snoo Microcosmos Tane.
What the hell does that even mean?
Turn the sign of the microcosmos. Fucking Google it, Joe. We're not in prehistoric times anymore.
That track is totally dope. Fucking brutal atmosphere. Those creepy voices starting after 6 minutes that sound like a choir are pretty dope. This deserves an A tier.
It's an S tier, Barry.
Everything after the self-titled album is C at most.
Start being reasonable, guys. I don't have all day long. I need to blast some Darkthrone after we're done with this shit. I know you would put all of the Burzum albums in S tier, Donnie, but Date Som Engang Var, it's a little step back for me. It continues in the same direction, but it doesn't give me that spark that other Burzum albums do.
Whatever, Barry, you're starting to speak nonsense. Everything Burzum does is a masterpiece. And that's why I'll put this in S tier. Let's get to Havisly Setter Os. 44 minutes of pure perfection. Date Som Engang Var and Tomet are pure Odysseys.
What the hell, Donnie? Tomet doesn't even have lyrics. It's a 14-minute track instrumental.
And since when do we debate dungeon synth dog shit here?
Shut the fuck up, ice cream bitch. Havisly Setter Os is a fucking masterpiece. The black metal rawness is combined with the atmospheric synths in the end, and together they give you a feeling of wholesomeness.
Beautifully put, Donnie. I'm impressed. But I'll give this an A as well.
Are you out of your mind, Barry? This is a fucking masterpiece.
It is a great album, Donnie, but it doesn't do it for me. The atmosphere created is grim and maybe even regretful at times, which I'm totally into it. But Varg isn't bringing something new with his vocals.
It sounds like screams coming down the hallway.
Jeez, fucking morons. But you must love the riffs, guys. They're fucking cool and atmospheric and brutal, and it fucking kicks ass.
It's rudimentary guitar playing, Donnie, and don't get me wrong, I sometimes need that shit in my life, but I wanted something different from Varg.
More double bass, for example, Barry? Why the hell didn't he hire a real drummer like Hellhammer for his albums?
Wow, shit. That's nasty, Joe.
You'd be surprised, but I like Hellhammer. He's a great drummer, but it wouldn't create the same atmosphere with his blast beasts. It would be a different kind of art.
True that. I'm with Donnie on this one. Anyway, this album goes in A for me.
Okay, Barry, I'll make a compromise on this one. But you'd better get your shit together, guys, because we'll rank Philosophum next.
Fuck yes, Donnie. That's what I'm talking about. Imagine that at this point in time, Burzum got so big that it received airtime on MTV for Dunkelheit.
Fucking poser.
Shut the fuck up, Joe. A little bit of publicity never killed nobody. Varg was a genius on this one. The man used the amplifier on his brother's stereo and some fuzz pedals. He also ended up using the microphone in a headset when recording vocals.
Fucking legend. We must say Varg continued his experimentation with minimalism, repetition, and ambient music. The album even contained the band's longest ambient track, Rundgang auf den Transzendentale Eigenheiten Stotta.
Excellent pronunciation, Barry. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks, Donnie.
And talking about the song, it contains a repeated simple melody for nearly the entirety of the runtime. The synthesizer bass riff is changed halfway through into a harmony riff. That shit totally blew my mind.
You're fucking illiterate, fat ass. It's called a harmony ostinato. You should have known that by now. And speaking about Philosophum, as much as I hate Varg, this is a good album. The riffs are quite okay, a bit repetitive, but they create a nice, gloomy ambient. The synth track Rundgang, or whatever it's called, isn't my cup of tea, but the rest of the album contains decent black metal tracks. This deserves a B.
I'm surprised you gave it only a B, Joe.
Me too. Varg basically dedicated 2 songs on this album to you, Joe. Parts 1 and 2 of Gebrechlichkeit.
You son of a bitch. You made me hate you and Burzum even more.
Decrepitude 1 and 2 are great ones, Joe, so calm your tits. Let's put Philosophum in S tier and let's move on. The next ones are moving away from the classic Burzum black metal sound, as both Dowdy Balders and Hlitzkalf are made in the dark ambient style.
Totally masterpieces in their own right. Varg was the dungeon synth master with these creations.
I can see why you're so fond of these albums, Donnie. They were created while Varg was in prison. And that's going to be another thing you'll have in common with Vikernes.
Fuck you, old bitch.
We should definitely call these albums prison synth. Anyway, we should continue rating the metal stuff Varg did.
Shut the fuck up, Joe. We'll rank all Burzum albums, irrespective of the genre.
Calm down, bro. We haven't got all day long. They're both cool albums. Let's get to Belus.
Fucking posers, you don't want to discuss real art. Anyway, Belus is another masterpiece, and it's pretty underrated. The man came up with a proper black metal album after the dungeon synth creations. Glemselin's Elv is pure perfection, and Sverdens gives me an adrenaline rush like nothing else.
I can see your point, Donnie, but Belus doesn't cut it for me. Varg had a different vocal approach on this one. His shrieks sounded more generic and didn't remind me of his wolf-like howls in the early days.
Can't you fucking adapt, Barry?
I tried, Donnie. The instrumental parts are dope, but that's the only cool part of the album for me. I'd give it a B tier for the effort.
You're being indulgent, Barry. It's a C at most.
No one asked you, Joe. I'll put it in B, although it deserves S tier. Fallen is the next album.
Varg said that it is a cross between Belus and the early black metal releases. And after listening to Fallen, I can totally understand why.
As far as lyrics are concerned, it reminded me of the first album. But you can also feel the mythological references from time to time.
The spoken parts give the album a spiritual depth that I didn't encounter in the previous album, Belus, or on the following one, Skiptar.
Totally, Barry. We can see an evolution towards experimentation. There are also 2 ambient tracks that have a complementary role to the album's dynamics.
It's a nice way of jerking off Varg musically, but it is obvious that the classic Burzum viciousness is no longer there. I'd say this album is more like moving sideways for Varg.
Your opinion means nothing, Joe.
Hold on, Donnie. The man has a point. Although we can see that Burzum gravitates towards a more mature sound, the whole album gives me the impression of a leftover as much as I love this band. So that's why I'd put it in B tier.
Unfucking believable, Barry. I can understand now that I'm the only sane person that is present in this debate. Let's continue with Skiptar before I lose my patience.
The final metal album Burzum ever created. You can sense the return to the origins with this one.
It was a beautiful, beautiful album. The priority is put on atmosphere. The album's lyrics are taken from the Old Norse poem entitled Voluspa.
This album reminds me of Bathory and Early Enslaved in some parts. As far as the songs are concerned, Gulaldur is a 10-minute long spoken word track with some guitar arpeggios. Valgaldur is an 8-minute piece in which harmonies around distorted riffs can be heard, and that's about it. It's pretty mid to me, Donnie.
It's at least A tier, Barry. You can't tell me otherwise.
It's B tier.
Finally, some common sense in this conversation.
You guys are simply stupid pricks. It's the only way I can call you. I'm pretty sure Varg would bring you to your senses. Odin, I really wish he was here right now.
Hey, what's up, fellow black metal enthusiasts?
Yo, 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 my man Varg in the house.
Oh, hi, Varg. Good having you around.
Jesus fucking Christ, the murderer himself.
Calm down, Joe. We're all murderers here. The difference between you guys and me is that I did it by myself.
True that. Varg, tell these motherfucking bastards your thoughts on your black metal albums.
So, what are my thoughts on my black metal albums? Let's find out.
Oh, shit, he said the words.
Fuck yeah. Can't believe this shit is happening.
I have to give you my honest opinion, Mr. President. I really don't give a fuck anymore. They belong to the past, and that's where they will remain.
Jeez, Varg, are you serious?
I've moved on, guys, and so should you.
Wow, that was unexpected.
You don't seem to know me very well, then.
But I know you too well, Varg. You're concentrated on your dungeon synth music, right?
Calm the fuck down, Donnie. Shut up and listen. In case you didn't know, my true passion is tabletop role-playing games. My last album, Thulian Mysteries, was made in order to provide my mythic fantasy role-playing game with a background music.
That explains a lot.
So there you have it. You heard the truth. It was nice catching up, guys. See you later. And don't forget to subscribe to Metal Bowl.
Well, you heard the man, and it was the only good thing Varg ever said. Hit that subscribe button now.
Thanks for staying till the end, Burzumers.
See you in the next one. Stay metal.